What is up, everybody? Welcome to the movie watching challenge from Apocaflix Movies. This is our little thing that we do here where we challenge each other to watch movies, and it's kind of a rotating thing where one person's challenged, the other four choose four movies. They randomly select one of them, not knowing which is the movie, and then they get to challenge the next person. So I was challenged to watch The Outsiders by Brian Avellino. He challenged me, and I'm Jacob Bartley, by the way. And when you challenged me to this, Brian, I did not know that this was directed by Francis Ford Coppola. I did not know that. So because I rented it on Amazon and I saw director Francis Ford Coppola, and I'm like, what? That's crazy. So I was already excited from that. It's based on a classic literature novel.
Yes.
This cast is insane, and I'll say this: you knew I would love this movie, and I really it's really good, and it's kind of weird movie too. Even though it's really good, it's kind of weird. You don't know where it's going. Like, who is it focusing on? Who's the main character? Like, where? And then it finally, near the middle, it starts to come together and show you what it's really about. But the first thing I want to point out is this cast. Oh my goodness. And they're all babies in this movie.
Oh yeah.
So you have Matt Dillon, Ralph Macchio, Patrick Swayze, Rob Lowe, Emilio Estevez, Tom Cruise, Diane Lane, and C. Thomas Howell is the lead of the movie, arguably, which I don't really know much about him. But I just named 8 people who at one point in the last 30 years were A-list actors.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. Dude, they look like such babies, like seeing Tom Cruise in there and Rob Lowe, and it was so crazy. And Diane Lane, man, if I would have watched this movie as a kid, she would have been my Hollywood crush because she's beautiful in this movie. She always is, but her name's Cherry in the movie, and she has red hair. And I love this. It's set in 1965, and which I'm sure the novel is.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the greasers, who are like, I always associate greasers with the movie Grease, and I always thought that they were the popular kids on campus, which I guess Grease kind of portrays them that way. But
yeah, Grease does, yeah.
But I guess they're actually considered the lower class white trash guys, and they have greasy hair because they're kind of poor, and they rarely get haircuts and things like that. So this movie put it into perspective of me. It was like the jocks versus the greasers, and like basically rich popular guys versus the poor guys. And I like how the end of the movie is like kind of like a battle, like a war movie. They're getting ready to go into battle. But man, there's some really standout moments for me. What Karate Kid, Ralph Macchio, what his character does when he saves those kids from the fire and what ends up happening was crazy. How Matt Dillon goes wild at the end of the movie. And just seeing all these characters interact, where you have Patrick Swayze is the older brother and Rob Lowe's the middle brother, and then the main character is their younger brother. It was just a really cool dynamic, and I could tell that this movie was adapted from a book where they didn't fit everything from the book into the movie. Yeah. And that kind of always happens. But overall, I really liked it. I think the beginning is a little takes a little time to establish what the story is and where it's going. But overall, I really enjoyed it.
Yes, I've been wanting to challenge you. I probably have put this every single time for the last 6 months, just hoping it would eventually come up.
Yeah, that happens, man. I've been challenging certain people to certain movies for so many times in a row. And that's a win for the Outsiders, man.
Finally, I pick a good movie for someone.
Oh yeah. Well, speaking of challenging someone to a movie you want to challenge them to, the person I am challenging is Gio Ramos. Gio, we're coming for you. You are challenged, man. So get ready to hopefully watch my movie, but it could be any of our movies that end up being chosen. So any last thoughts, man?
I knew you would like it. I'm so glad you finally got to watch it, because I know how much of a sucker you are for classic-y literature.
And the movie's only an hour and a half. It was very short, and like I said, that end battle scene was like, it felt like, like a Lord of the Rings or Endgame or like where they're all meeting at the end, and then they all just fight each other, and the fighting looks so fake.
Oh yeah,
because they like punch, and you could tell it didn't really hit him, and the actor goes like this. But it was in '83, so it makes sense. But it was a fun movie. It really, really was, and I'll always remember it. I like it a lot. But yes, look forward to our next episode of Apocaflix Now. That'll be actually on Tuesday, which would technically be later today if you're watching this video, because it's going up tomorrow, which we're recording on Monday. So there you go. Check out Apocaflix Now to see what movie Gio gets challenged to, and then you'll see our next challenge video next week. So thank you, Brian, for challenging me. I appreciate it. For Brian Avellino, Jacob Bartley, that's going to do it. We will see you all next time.